Defend yourself against DDoS attacks by hiding your true IP address with ExpressVPN, and visit my custom link expressvpn.com/ghilliemaster in the description to find out how you can get an extra 3 months free. Helmets, more specifically bulletproof helmets, are a massive part of ground combat in GTA Online whether you like it or not. But even more important, and what is lesser known, is the counterplay to players wearing bulletproof helmets. In this video, I'm going to give you the entire rundown on helmet mechanics in GTA Online, discussing how exactly they work, what kinds of helmets offer protection from bullets, and of course, how to properly engage and counter a player that is wearing a helmet in combat. Because these days, it's hard to find a PvPer that's not wearing one. Firstly, what helmets are actually bulletproof, because there are a ton of helmet categories in this game, and actually a lot more of them than you probably think provide some form of protection. The amount of protection that certain helmets offer also comes in 2 different categories. Some stop 1 bullet and some stop 2 bullets before breaking. The best helmets, the ones that stop 2 bullets, are your bulletproof helmets from the Last Team Standing update. Everything from the combat helmet category, which is the night vision, the thermal vision helmets, all those. The shielded ride helmets with the visor, which is this model. The other model of the ride helmet that I'm showing on screen right now will not offer any resistance from bullets. And finally, the flight helmets, which look like a helmet and mask combined into one, will stop 2 bullets. The ones that stop 1 bullet before breaking are your biker helmets and the motorcycle helmets. Anything that I didn't mention will not offer any sort of bullet resistance at all. Now, how does the helmet actually protect you, and how does it mitigate damage? For starters, even though your face is left completely exposed, the helmet still protects your face, as it basically shields the entire head portion of the hitbox. And how it works is it essentially ignores headshot damage multipliers for 1 or 2 bullets depending on the helmet type we talked about earlier. So in this case, my friend has on a combat helmet, so when I shoot him in the head and then shoot him in the body, the game acts like both of those are body shots, until the helmet tanks 2 shots, in which case afterwards shooting them in the head results in a 1-shot kill if they are in the proper range for the weapon to perform a 1-shot headshot. And this is the case for all weapon classes. It's not like the bullet resistant windows that will break in a different number of bullets depending on which gun you shoot it with. The combat helmet here will block 2 bullets of any weapon, whether it be a sniper, assault rifle, LMG, or pistol. After a helmet takes 2 shots, if you go and re-equip the outfit through the interaction menu, that will actually restore the helmet's usability, and if you really wanted to, you could spam the outfit mid-combat to tank as many headshots as possible, which isn't going to work on anyone that has seen this video, because now we're going to talk about countering the bulletproof helmet. And there are 2 good ways to do so. The first way is through the special ammo type armor-piercing rounds. These can be placed on any of your Mark II assault rifles, the Combat MG Mark II, shotguns, and if you really want to, sniper rifles. And their description states that they deal increased damage to targets wearing body armor. But what they don't say is that they also completely ignore bulletproof helmets. They shred right through them. And so I highly recommend you always carrying at least 1 assault rifle with you that is equipped with armor-piercing rounds, preferably one that has a higher rate of fire, such as the Bullpup Rifle Mark II or the Special Carbine Mark II. I know most people like to use the Special Carbine Mark II as their go-to rifle, so for that reason I recommend putting it on the Bullpup Rifle Mark II like I have it equipped in the video. And with this ammo, it's like the target had no helmet on to begin with. As long as the target is in 1-shot headshot range of the weapon, they will die to 1 headshot while wearing that helmet. This might sound really obvious, and you might question how players don't know about this already, but you would be surprised on how many people I come across that just don't use armor-piercing rounds, even though we both have helmets on. In most real PvP scenarios, at least speaking from my own experience, players you come across will most likely be repping the Combat MG Mark II in first-person mode, most likely with BST on, and not aiming for the head because the Combat MG Mark II isn't exactly a headshot-style weapon. It's kind of inaccurate. Well, if you guys both have helmets on and you have an armor-piercing round assault rifle equipped, you will win that gunfight 100% of the time, even without BST, so long as you aren't too far away from them where it becomes a 2-shot kill to the head. Because even through BST and their helmet, you'll just 1-shot them. BST doesn't give you any more resistance to headshots, and the armor-piercing rounds will allow you to shred right through the helmet. And to showcase this, my friend and I are going to simulate what a gunfight like this could look like and the results that follow. So like just plop some BST and use like the Combat MG. And I'll just not use any of those things and beat you still.
Alright.
Shred.
Yeah, that like obliterates me.
And you have BST too?
Yeah, I'm using BST every single time.
Of course, this is assuming your opponent is going to be using bullet weapons. A lot of people like to rocket around corners or use the explosive shotgun, which you can't really do much about with anything, unfortunately. But this video, I'm showing you all clean counters because it's kind of obvious that an RPG is going to stop a bulletproof helmet. It's an explosive. And there is one more counter to Bulletproof Helmets, and fortunately this way is very low level friendly for those who maybe haven't progressed into the game far enough to have armor piercing rounds on their weapons. All you need is a good old shotgun. Preferably the pump shotgun, as it has the best accuracy and range out of the bunch. And the logic here is this: shotguns shoot around 8 or so pellets each shot. The helmet only protects against 2 individual shots, and those separate pellets count as individual shots. So if you were to land a headshot square on an opponent at close range, those 8 pellets will just overwhelm the helmet and instantly kill the player. Now, is this as good of a counter as armor piercing rounds? Not really, because you have to be closer for it to work, and shotguns fire much slower than rifles do, so you have less room for error. If you miss a headshot, you're probably gonna die. But in a pinch, it can get the job done, or as I mentioned earlier, if you have no other way to counter helmets, think of this trick the next time you find yourself up against a helmet user. I should also mention the heavy shotgun does not one-shot through helmets because it shoots individual slugs instead of a group of pellets, so the other properties still apply for that gun. Every other shotgun though will work at varying ranges, with the pump having the longest one-shot helmet range, which is why I recommend it. And that is going to wrap up this guide on how to counter bulletproof helmets in 2022. If you have been watching the channel for a long time now, you may have realized that I made a video about this many years ago, like 4 years ago. I decided I want to go back and revisit the How to Counter series, one for some of the newer viewers on the channel who may have not seen the old ones, because the majority of them were made, like I said, many years ago, and 2, just to make them in better quality than I did back then. For some of the ones back then, I wasn't even using a microphone, so there's that, and then I can also add things that I didn't mention in the originals, you know, stuff like that. So definitely expect more of this style video on the channel going forward, and if you have anything that you would like to see me make a guide on how to counter, feel free to drop a comment down below. If you enjoyed the video or found it helpful, feel free to leave a like, as well as subscribe to my channel for more GTA Online content. I want to give a huge shout out to all my channel members for your support. If you'd like to become a member for some exclusive perks, you can either use the join button or the link that's down in the description. And as always, thanks for watching and have a great day.